So guys, today we're going to be talking about the WNBA draft, and in my opinion, if we're going to be honest and judge players based on how they play, there's a new number one overall pick. There is. And you might be saying, oh, it's different in the WNBA. These players have 4 years worth of stuff to go by. And it's like, well, no, both players I'm talking about have missed an entire year based on knee injuries. We got to talk about what happens right now. I don't care how good Paige Bueckers was in high school. I really don't. Like, I'm hearing people mentioning Paige being the national player of the year as a freshman, as why to draft her 4 years later. I don't care. I really don't care. And I know WNBA teams do care, but again, WNBA teams are so backwards. They're so backwards in everything. Like, WNBA teams did not value Leonie Fiebich because she couldn't post up. She was a 6'4" lockdown defender who was a 40% shooter from three and the MVP of the Spanish league. They didn't value her because she couldn't post up. WNBA front offices, WNBA coaches are dumb. And I mean that. I really mean that. They literally value the long two over the three. And by the way, I'm not saying nowadays you're seeing a lot of teams realizing, oh crap, we can't really keep doing this. They're the type of people that will value a long two over three. And I don't mean the occasional pull-up midi. I mean like your foot on the line, Kevin Garnett long two. But I don't see any reason why Olivia Moss should not be number one overall pick right now. She's 2.5 years younger than Paige. She is 5'10" point guard. She's an inch shorter than Paige Bueckers. She is a better point guard. She's just coming off the back of 2 consecutive triple-doubles for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame are better than UConn. They just are. And you might be saying, oh, UConn have AZ Fudd coming back. AZ Fudd's another one. Literally, people are like, oh yeah, AZ Fudd, she should be the third pick. Why? Oh, she was the number one high school recruit. Who cares? Like, we've got, how many number one high school recruits have just not panned out in the NBA? I'm pretty sure Skal Labassiere was a number one high school recruit. Harry Giles. Like, the way people are judging by the WNBA, there'll be people still arguing for Harry Giles right now. But, yeah, it really doesn't matter who the higher recruits were, who was better. At this point in time, Olivia Moss is a better player. And especially, and you might be saying, oh, but like efficiency. Olivia Moss shoots 55% from the field. They shoot the same percentage from the field. From three, Olivia Moss shoots 40-something% from three. Paige Bueckers shoots 40. I still think Paige Bueckers is the better shooter. But you got to look at what these players are being drafted to be. They're being drafted to play the point guard. Like, everyone's talking about being like, oh yeah, Paige, she's playing off the ball at UConn, but she's being drafted as a point guard. Olivia Moss is a better passer. Olivia Moss runs the show better. Olivia Moss is a better decision maker. And you might be saying, oh, but Paige Bueckers' efficiency and all this. If your efficiency comes from passiveness, then it is fake efficiency. Anyone can be efficient only shooting catch and shoot open shots and layups and easy pull-ups. When your efficiency comes at the expense of aggression, it doesn't count. And I mean, that's one of the problems. Not that it doesn't fully count, but it's less impressive. I would rather see Paige Bueckers shoot 45% and be twice aggressive. I would. And I think the vast majority of the time is in college, you can have poor shooting percentages. Juju Watkins is never going to shoot a good percentage in college. She's not because of the shots she takes. Caitlin Clark did not shoot the craziest percentage, but she was ridiculously efficient given the crazy shots she took in college. Olivia Moss is just better than Paige. Paige, again, is an inch taller, and she's barely better defender. And her points per game are more. She's doing it on more shots. Again, not that many more shots, but more shots. Everything else is Olivia Moss, and they're being drafted as a point guard. They're meant to be playing the point guard position. Olivia Moss is better than Paige. She just is, and she's a year and a half younger. I don't understand why age is not a damn factor in the WNBA draft. I saw people saying Malonga can't be the number one overall pick because, even though I think she might actually come over straight away. You're seeing it with workouts. But they're she's not going to be ready to contribute right away. And it's and by that logic, just take Dalton Connect at number one. Because he was a super senior last year. Just take the super seniors. Heck, take Sedona Prince number 2 then. If all that matters is being NBA ready tomorrow, WNBA ready tomorrow, and not about potential, it's why you see dumb things like Jade Melbourne and Sika Kone falling to the third round because they were young. And then suddenly you're looking at these two players who were the two youngest players in the WNBA last year, both players that would have been first round picks. I'm telling you, Jade Melbourne better than JC Sheldon. Sika Kone is not as good as Aaliyah Edwards, but I'd still take her over Elisa Pili. And again, neither of them played when they played for Minnesota. But I would still take her in the first round. So these are two players that fell to the third round because they were 19 years old. And teams are like, oh, what do we do with a 19-year-old? Like, they're not ready yet. What do we do with them? I'm like, no, you take them and develop them. And like, I understand if it's like you don't need to play them straight away because they take up roster spots and there's no G League. Send them overseas for a few years and just don't trade their rights like teams did with Leonie Fibic. Like, these players exist. These elite young players exist. Like, somebody's going to make that mistake with Aisha Sivka. I think she could drop to the second round. Aisha Sivka, realistically, she is 19 years old. She turned 19 2 weeks ago. She's 4.5 years younger than Hailey Van Lith. She's nearly 6 years younger than Sedona Prince. Like, Aisha Sivka should have been... Did I say nearly 6 years? 5 years younger than Sedona Prince. Sorry. She's 3 and a bit years younger than Paige? You're looking at these players 4 and a bit years younger than Paige. I'm confident Aisha Sivka in 4 years in direct development could be better than Paige Bueckers. Like, Aisha Sivka could be a better Leonie Fibic, who I would take over Paige Bueckers. At this point in time, if you ask me who do I want, Paige Bueckers or Leonie Fibic, I'm taking Leonie Fibic. She is a 6'4" sniper who is as efficient as Paige, except she's 6'4" and has lockdown. Like, I don't understand why it's just an automatic given she's the number 1 overall pick. She's not been the best player in college, and she is not the best player that's available in this draft. She has been outplayed by Olivia Miles this season. And you might say, oh, what about last season? Olivia Miles missed last season. What about the season before that? Paige missed the season before that. You don't hold years where players don't play against them. You draft based on who is going to be the best at this point in time. And not only do I believe that Olivia Miles is a better basketball player than Paige Bueckers right now, she's also a much better point guard. I think even if you're trying to argue and Paige Bueckers is better, Olivia Miles is a better point guard, and I think that's very difficult to argue against that point. I think it's very difficult to say that Olivia Miles or Paige Bueckers is better at the point guard position than Olivia Miles, which is why the Dallas Wings are going to play her. The reason why Paige Bueckers is seen as a formality, the number 1 overall pick, was because she was the best player in the world, her age, in the world when she was 18. Because she was better than Caitlin Clark 4 years ago. Well, I'm sorry, like, Andrew Wiggins was better than Nikola Jokic when they were 18 years old. What difference does that make? What difference does that make now? Like, I can guarantee you when Michael Jordan was 16 years old, he was cut from his high school team. Like, you don't judge players based on how good they were in the past. And yes, Paige Bueckers was the best freshman in the country. If you ask me who was better in the year of 2021, Paige Bueckers or Caitlin Clark, I will answer Paige Bueckers. I think it was close. I'll still go Paige Bueckers. But Paige Bueckers was better when she was in high school, and I mean that. Paige Bueckers was better at 18 years old than she is at 23 years old. Olivia Miles is constantly improving, has been the best point guard in the country, and she is getting better and better and better as the year's going on, and Paige is just doing Paige things. She's being ultra efficient. She's just going to go and take her shots. They're playing Marquette, and she's got 8 points. I really don't care how they get on against Marquette, because in the games that have mattered against USC and against Notre Dame, against Notre Dame especially, Olivia Miles was hurt in that game, and Paige got destroyed by Hidalgo. And the one thing I will say is there was a spell in the USC game where Paige was brilliant, where she was the best player on the floor. She was the best player. There was a spell kind of halfway through the third to halfway through the fourth. And then she missed that pull-up 3, and she just became Bueckers again. She looked like the Paige. She looked like 19-year-old Paige again. She played with a bit of freedom until she took one bad shot and she missed it. And then she went scared to miss. She went scared to take bad shots again. And that's just the unfortunate thing with Paige. At this point in time, there is almost no basketball reasons to take Paige Bueckers over Olivia Miles. Paige Bueckers, I don't think is as good right now. Paige Bueckers is a year and a half older. Paige Bueckers, maybe you could argue she's a better off-the-ball shooter, but I'm like, I actually don't care if Paige Bueckers is a better off-the-ball shooter if she's meant to be playing the point guard position. And like, Olivia Miles is 100 times better playmaker. I don't understand why you would take Paige Bueckers just because her name is Paige Bueckers. You're seeing it in the men. There's a good chance Cooper Flagg's not going number 1, even though he's the most hyped. Because Dylan Harper's just been better than him. We've seen so many times where ultra hyped recruits come into college, they're not quite as good as people expect, and other people go ahead of them. We saw Scoot Henderson maybe not having as good a year possible in the G League, and we saw Brandon Miller rightfully being taken over him. And people thought it was dumb because of what Scoot had done in the past. I'm sorry, can we stop judging Paige Bueckers by who she was when she was 19 years old and not judging 23-year-old Paige Bueckers? Because 23-year-old Paige Bueckers is not as good as 21-year-old Olivia Moss. And I mean that. I really mean that.